So we are going to make ourselves some shrimp tacos today, and I always use green shrimp, and I buy the ones from the grocer, and if you go to Sprouts or Whole Foods, they will devein them for you, so you don't have to do that. Otherwise, that makes them easy to peel and utilize too. So if they already have the shell broken, and you can get the shell and the shrimp right directly out of there. I'm throwing the shells into the compost because I compost everything. I believe in full circle, and I try to eliminate waste as much as possible. So even in my kitchen, I use paper towels that are compostable, and in my home kitchen, I use bamboo paper towels because I can wash them in the washing machine, and you can use a whole roll of bamboo paper towels is the equivalent to 20 rolls of regular paper towels by being able to wash them, and they hold up very well. I even clean my ovens with them, and they scrub very, very well. When I'm peeling apart the shrimp, I am feeling for a couple of things. One, I'm looking to make sure that when they deveined them for me, that they got it all. And number two, that when I'm pulling apart the shrimp, that they hold their form, that they're not mushy, and that they come apart. Because if you pull the tail off of one and it pulls the whole shrimp apart, it's generally a bad shrimp, and so I would throw it out. And then also I use gloves because I don't like the feeling of the shrimp on me, and so also when you get to cooking them, or you have shrimp that's in the refrigerator that you cooked before, and maybe you didn't write down the date on it that you cooked it, you feel it and it feels slimy, throw them away, they're bad. Even if you heat them back up to normal temperature, you can't get rid of all the bacteria, and you're likely going to get sick. I am rinsing the shrimp to make sure that I am feeling them, so to make sure that I got all of the shells off of them and none of them feel slimy or like they're going to fall apart. You can feel some of that through the glove, but unless you feel them with your hand, it's really hard to tell. They're ready for cooking. Now we need to cook the rest of cut up the rest of the items. As I mentioned in one of my knife safety videos, in order to make sure that your cutting board does not move, I use half a sheet of paper towel and I put it on the counter so that it does not move and create a variable of a moving cutting board. So we're going to cut our shallots here, dice them up nice and small, and then dice up our garlic. And now we're going to take and dice up our shallots really quickly, and we're going to take and create flat sides. I'm going to create flat sides so it makes it easier for them to cut and they're not moving around. So I cut off the bottom of each of the shallots, and then I cut through the root like that to create them to be flat. I'm going to use all of these. See, I have both my hands engaged there so that I do not try to cut myself. So now I am taking off the skin that I don't need, and it makes it easier when you have it cut. A lot of people try to take the skin off before they cut the onion, and it doesn't work very well, but you can get a lot deeper in and not take extra pieces of the onion if you have it cut already in half. And once you get a piece going, it already just comes off just like that. Now when you buy organic anything, sometimes they're not beautiful to begin with, and sometimes when you open them they can be a little spoiled, but you just take these little eyesores off right there and just dice them off, and you can utilize the rest of the shallot. But when you're picking up fruit and things like that, fruit and vegetables, always try and find the ones that don't have bad spots, because that's just a waste that you're paying for and you won't be able to utilize. I have another video out there that shows about how to select proper fruits and vegetables. So I am dicing them. I am not going to slice them. When I make French onion soup, it's probably the only time that I slice. So I just dice them so it expresses the flavor very quickly. And the faster that the flavor gets into your food as you're searing it, the more that the food will take that flavor on. You could use a food processor or one of those chopper things that I've seen that you push the handle on and it spins the blades around and chops things. But in the process that I just showed you on how to cut shallots, it's faster. So I actually keep my garlic outside of the refrigerator because number one, it makes it easier for the skin to come off of the garlic when I smash it. Or number two, I use garlic so fast that I used to go through a clove of garlic probably every half day, and then when I'm cooking a lot, I probably go through 6 or 7 whole bunches of garlic. So anyway, so I'm gonna use up all of this garlic right here. Basically, I use my heavy knife and I just smash it, and the garlic comes right directly out of the skin. And because the garlic is room temperature, it comes out a lot easier than having to try and peel it a great deal. So again, just smash the garlic. And you can use a garlic press if you would like. I do use a garlic press sometimes. However, the garlic is this pretty. I can dice it up really nicely. I only like to use a garlic press when I have those little itty bitty pieces of garlic after I've already used up all of the larger cloves. There we go. See, it just pops right directly out. And now I can just take and just dice it up. And again, you can use a garlic press, it would work fine, but then you take all the oil out of the garlic and you don't have any little garlic chunks or garlic bites, which I kind of like in my food. So, but if I'm making soup, sometimes I'll use the garlic press because I want it to be more watery, I want it to be more pureed. But for this, I'm going to not. So I'm actually going to mix my garlic and my shallots together. We are going to now get ready to cut the red cabbage so that we can have it for our street tacos. So I take that one piece off and then I just dice it up really small like. And then from here on out, pretty much I'm going to do a small cut. I use red cabbage because I love the flavor of the red cabbage. It's nice and crisp, and it's a huge compliment to Chipotle, as the Chipotle seasoning and the ancho chili seasoning I'm going to use, and it just leaves a crispness. It leaves a crispness, and it's not overpowering a flavor like the green cabbage is very overpowering for flavor. So I like just to throw a couple pieces of this on there, and adds a really nice little crunchy, fresh flavor to this, and it's beautiful. It just adds, when you have a pink shrimp with a bunch of spices and then you have a red cabbage, it's really pretty. We are going to take our garlic and our shallots that we diced earlier today. We're going to saute them with some olive oil, and then we are going to add in the shrimp, add in a bit of ancho chili as well as Espelette chili from France, and then I'm going to put in some white wine. So we're going to get started here. Again, we're going to start on high. We're going to get the pan nice and warm. Add olive oil so that it's all over the place. Add in our pepper and our salt. We have a lot of shrimp in here, so we are going to get these nice and peppered up. We want them a little spicy. A bit of salt. I use a wok to cook these in because I want the maximum amount of space to cook the shrimp evenly and not have some on the bottom and some on the top. So we're going to get these nice and evenly. We're adding our garlic and our shallots. Get them nice and toasted. And then we're going to add in our shrimp. So I'm using the maximum metal space of the pan, which is why I like to cook shrimp and many other dishes in a wok. So it's not just for Chinese food. There we go. So we're gonna take these shrimp, get them in here. They start to fry up really well. I'm going to turn it down just a hair. I want to get some spice in here. We're going to put some of our ancho chili in here, which is a smoked New Mexican type of chili. Nice and dark. Not super spicy, but nice and dark and smoky. And now the Esplanade chili is a little spicier, so I want that to be, and it's nice and bright red. So I'm going to turn that back up just a hair. Get these nice and coated, and then let them cook. And once they get a little bit redder, we're going to add in our white wine. The shrimp are cooking up nice and well. So I'm going to turn this down a hair. We're going to add in our white wine so they sear and cook up a hair. Yes, I come from the Midwest, and so everything comes as a hair. There, we are almost done. So I can take and spread out my shrimp so that I can maximize my space and so they cook all evenly. I don't have some on the bottom that get cooked faster than the ones on the top or the sides. And if you can see, they're all cooking fairly quickly. We'll get that to reduce the water down a hair. Ooh, perfect crunch and perfect spice. Those are ready to go. So I have placed the sprouted corn tortillas, so there's no wheat in these whatsoever. They're sprouted corn tortillas, so all organic corn. And I placed them on the gas cooktop itself, and it's already been cooking. It cooked the shrimp, so it's still nice and hot. And it will cook up these tortillas so that we can make shrimp tacos out of them. The reason why I like to do it this way is it reminds me of when I lived in Mexico. And so tortillas were cooked on a gas fire, burnt almost to perfection. And I'm not a big pre-formed corn tortilla person. And it adds a little bit of smoke to the tortilla, makes them nice and warm. I start with spreading them around so that the corners will cook, and then I put them in the center so that the centers will cook last. So we are going to make chipotle sauce now, and I don't use sour cream of any kind. In fact, I don't think I can remember any dish that I've used sour cream in. So I do use Fage, the 2%, not the 0%, because I figure if you're going to, usually you need more fat, more good fats than you do bad fats. And so the Fage takes in, it blends nicely. See, it's nice and creamy. I think if you use 0%, then it tends to be a little more, or a little less creamy and a little more, it separates a little easier. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that much, and I'm going to take the same spices I used when I make my shrimp tacos. I'm going to use some ancho chili paste, ancho chili. Again, that's smoked. I want to keep the smoky flavor, and I'm going to use the Esplanade pepper for the little spice, and I'm just going to mix it up until it gets to chipotle. It gets a little color in there. There we go. It looks about right. You see the kind of the brownish color, and then it's got a little red flake, little red specks in there. nice. And there you go. We let this set for a little while and it becomes the basis for our shrimp tacos. So we are ready to make our shrimp tacos. We're going to take our tortilla shells that we just finished making here, and we are going to spread them out on the plates. We're going to take a little bit of our cream. So I am getting a little chipotle on here, not too much. I'm going to take a couple of shrimp here, throw them on each one of the tacos. I think it looks like about 4 will be a good number for each one of these. Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah, I think 3 would be better. I think 4 is going to be overlapping. Do the same on each one of them. Take a little bit of our purple cabbage to throw that on top of this. And then we can take and cut ourselves some cilantro. Now cilantro is nice because it adds a nice fresh flavor to the top, and you can just cut it. You can actually use the stems of cilantro, unlike flat leaf parsley, where you cannot use the stems of the flat leaf parsley because they taste very earthy. I'll use earthy or more like bark. So we'll get some cilantro slices in here. Cilantro on top of the street taco. Throw some queso fresco on there, and again, I use whole milk queso fresco. And then I have some of these lovely clover sprouts that we will take and we will add a little bit to the top. Now on street tacos, they typically don't do this, but I typically like to add a little bit different things. I sometimes use sunflower sprouts that I get from my compost guys, but here we're going to use some clover sprouts. And there we go. We have ourselves a plate of shrimp tacos ready to eat just for you. If you like this recipe, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you're notified every time a new recipe is available. It's what's in the food that matters. Eat organic.